The survival of the smartest, survival of the fittest. Charles Darwin theory. Namaskar, good evening. Welcome to the product launch of RAID 2.0. My name is Shekhar Suman. I'm going to be your host for today, and proudly we present to you RAID 2.0. Last year, if you remember, on 15th of March, we launched RAID 1.0, a patent pending technology, and we have developed this process exclusively for all of you. Please confirm in chat if you guys can hear me and see me too. Let me quickly check. All right. Welcome to the session, guys. We are today at a very important session. And today we are going to talk about one amazing strategy which we have developed at Biotecnika. I'm going to exclusively showcase RAID 2.0, and I'm going to also talk about why RAID, what exactly it means, and what exactly you need to do to get RAID. Now, it sounds funny, RAID, right? We have to RAID concepts. Basically, when we talk about CSIR NET exam, let me remind you that this exam is one of the toughest exam in the life science sector. And that also means a lot of students write it and only hardly 1% student gets selected, right? But the moment you get selected, you get 20 lakhs JRF fellowship. Of course, in future, it's going to increase, but you get an opportunity to do PhD. So CSIR, HRDG always make sure that the best, the smartest, the most smart student gets selected. So the toughest exam demands the smartest of the strategies and the hardest of the efforts combined with the best of the technologies to achieve success. And that's exactly is the aim here. Thank you so much for joining today for this session. I am so happy to be presenting this particular technology with all of you. We have worked tirelessly for past 1 year to improve on our teaching methodology, and nowhere you will find that the company which gives coaching discloses how they teach, right? They give you demos, but there can be differences. But here we are going to disclose how exactly we teach. And starting from 1st of April, RAID 2.0 will be implemented in all the batches of Biotecnika. Okay, starting from 1st of April, no, this is not April Fool, but yes, starting from 1st of April, we are going to implement RAID 2.0 in all the classes of Biotecnika, whether it is GATE or CSIR NET. So let's jump in and find out RAID hai kya? What exactly is RAID? So let me tell you a story about it. A few years ago, there was a pandemic, and before that itself, we had started working on developing a process which is exclusive to Biotecnika. Nowhere else it is done, but it gives immense benefit to our students. And the benchmark which I had set for my team was, you have to create something which is better than Lehninger biochemistry book. I'm sure you have seen it, right? So we wanted to create something better than Lehninger, better than Karp, better than Tora. That was the benchmark we had set for our team. Our team worked tirelessly, and they came up with a bouquet of products. Not just one or two, a bouquet of products. And then we said, okay, why not combine all of this to make a powerful, solid strategy to help our students qualify CSIR NET. Now, RAID 2.0 was launched last year. It's been a year, and we've been using that, and we have seen 600 plus students qualify CSIR NET using that technology. Today, we are here to implement RAID 2.0 and how it is going to benefit all our existing students as well as all the new students. So whoever is an existing student of Biotecnika, you should know this, that whatever I'm going to show will also be added in your batches also in a subsequent basis. Okay, so let's talk about RAID in detail now. Now, as I say, how to study science, right? Simple question. How do you study science? Obviously, scientifically. You cannot study science in the arts way, correct? And that is the reason we have designed RAID 2.0 to exactly do that. It's a technology, it's a process, it's an exclusive process which our teachers follow every day in and out to make sure that you grow as a researcher in a holistic way, right? But what is RAID? RAID hai kya? Well, RAID is rapid, advanced, intelligently delivered classes. So basically, it's a process. Okay. Now, today you will get a free demo class of RAID for 10 minutes, and then we will show all the components of RAID. There are more than 14 components of RAID. Last year, when we launched, there were only 5 components. This year, we have 14 plus components of RAID classes. Okay. So let's jump in. And one more very important announcement for everybody: whoever is attending this session till the end will get all the samples of all the RAID components which I show here free of cost. You will have to fill the feedback form, you will get that. And also, after 24 hours, I will send you a surprise gift. Okay, so if you fill the feedback form, I'll send you a surprise gift, and also, of course, all the free samples you'll get immediately. Okay, so let's jump in on what exactly RAID is going to bring for us. So I would like to invite our very own Farhan Zamir sir to talk about the importance of tools, revision tools, and in particular RAID 2.0. So Farhan Zamir sir, if you have already joined, please join us. Hello sir, namaskar, good evening, how are you?
Hello, sir. Very, very good evening, sir. I'm good, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, sir, and it's a great pleasure to have you on board in this particular session, sir. So
Thank you, sir.
today, sir, I want you to tell the students how exactly this particular technology, this patent pending process, is going to help our students, and what exactly is the importance of revision tools. Over to you, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Shekhar, sir, for always, thinking. You bring innovation and creativity, especially in pedagogy. Now, what is pedagogy? It's a new thinking learning process. Now, why is this important? This is important mainly because things are changing. Very importantly, if you look into the last, 100 years, the way we drive. Example, if you look into the previous Ford car, 100 years Ford car, you could see it was a tricycle. But however, when it came into the next existence, then we had all, the car with the ceiling. Then before that we had an open car. Then you had the air conditioned car. Then finally you have a car which is like, super fast. All the amenities are there. Okay, and it's more of expected of a given car. Now, sir, you'll be surprised to know, and all our audience will be surprised to know, that whatever currently what we have, we are not happy with it. Now, the car what we have, we want a car to go onto the road. We want to have a car which can fly in air. We want to have a car which can actually go underwater. So, a more has been expected of the same component. Now, to do this, to the entire thing goes to the credit of the human brain. Now, we need to also see that how exactly human brain perceives things, and why is this RAID so important for us. Now, how exactly human brain perceives things. Now, as a neuroscientist, I can tell you, when I look into an adult male brain is 1,350 grams. However, an adult female brain is 90 grams less than a male brain. Now, I'm sure that most of my viewers, most of my subscribers at Biotecnika, hearing this particular news of 90 grams less, especially our female subscribers, they will be upset with it. The point is not to get upset. What I'm trying to make you understand is there is a difference in the weight of the brain. When I say there's a difference in the weight of the brain, that means to say the kind of things what we perceive also differs. And hence, these kind of new technology, new learning technology, intelligent technology are the necessity of this particular art. Now, very importantly, when I look into the male brain, a male brain has been designed for logical memory. Please remember this. A male brain has been designed, it has been architectured, it has been wired, or the circuitry is mainly towards the logical memory. Whereas when I look into the female brain, a female brain is mainly meant for photographic memory. Now, if you look into most of our female students, okay, before examination, you can just look at them that they are always into the books. They are just revising and they are into the books. Now, however, a male brain, okay, normally if you look at a boy who is actually before like 5 minutes of the examination, he's just roaming around. Now, why is this? This is mainly because of the circuitry what he possesses. Now, remember, as I told you, the male brain is meant for logical memory, and the female brain is meant for photographic memory. So, this has to be amalgamated. Nowhere in our curriculum, nowhere in our teaching learning process, we would understand the neurocircuitry of a given individual. And hence, Biotecnika has been made an effort to understand this, and hence they are trying to amalgamate the tools and techniques which have been used at Biotecnika is an effort to amalgamate both the photographic memory and the logical memory, so that when you put this photographic memory and logical memory together, there comes a newer arena of thinking, and this arena will kindle the newer creativity and innovation, which is very, very important. Now, this is the first part of the neurocircuitry, what we need to understand. The next component is how do we learn. Okay, so many a times a pedagogy could be learned with various methodologies. Now, me being a teacher from last 16 years, I have seen various methods of students, either a topper or an average or a mediocre student, okay, who is actually preparing for an examination. When I look at them, most of the students, what they do is they do re-revision. Re-revision is they would study a particular concept, and again they will again go back to that particular material, again they will revise it. This is the first type of revision what most of the students, maybe 80% of the students, they do this. And other another 20% of students, they empower this re-revision using highlighting technique, wherein they have different colors and they highlight it. And other few set of people, they will think that making a summary notes will actually help. Now, trust me, sir, all my subscribers, you need to trust me. With all these methodologies, what we have seen is you can just make an above average student. You can never become a topper. And when I'm talking about a topper, it is not just scoring marks. Okay, because I have seen many toppers who are not able to reproduce at a given point of time. I sit in a lot of interview panels, and when I sit into a lot of interview panels, a first rank student is not able to reproduce the understanding what has been what he has actually read at least 3 months ago or 4 months ago. Now this becomes skeptical, saying that something what you studied 3 months ago or 4 months ago, you are not able to reproduce it. Now this is not the problem of the student. This is the problem wherein you are not able to recall right things at a right time. Okay, when you are sitting in an interview, or when you are answering your questions in your CSIR or any competitive examination, you do not have time. It's a race against time. So in that particular scenario, what you need to do is you need to with just a click of your thoughts, you need to bring up that particular concept. Now, for to have a better analogy, let me try to explain you this. Suppose I am trying to build a beautiful house. Now, when I'm trying to build a beautiful house, I have the entire arrangement of bricks. Now, once I have the bricks, there's something which is called as plastering. Now, why do I do plastering? Because I already have something, and onto that I am trying to glue it. Okay, so once I plaster it, okay, so this plastering is simply not sufficient. So the first layer of plastering will just help me in finishing, to just patch up the things which were having empty spaces. So this has to be compared to your general learning process. But however, plastering goes on to the second round. Now, in the second round, what I do is I actually put up the next coat, and the next coat is the finishing coat. Now, until you put up this finishing coat, the final, that particular beauty of that particular wall is not appreciated. Now, what I'm trying to do is the regular plastering. Whenever you go to classroom, whenever you go and study your textbook, it is the first coat. Okay, but onto the other way, the first coat is just it is just a conceptual concept what you're trying to understand. But however, the finishing comes with very important tools, and for a very important tools, you need to have techniques which will improve your teaching learning process, and very importantly, your memory. Now, your memory, many a times, it comes with photography. Okay, and especially, sir, you'll be surprised to know males are not good with photographic memory. Now,
right.
how do we enhance it? How do I enhance it? Now, for this, I require additional tools. And Biotecnika has come up with so many beautiful, it is not just one tool, it is the entire package, it is the entire bundle of tools which will tell, okay, what tool which has to be used at what component. Now, example, I'm sure that the other speakers who will talk in detail, but right. I'm so fascinated because it is the entire concept of biology is been explained as storytelling or in form of a picture. Now, this actually leaves a long-term vision, and even if I try to forget certain things, I'll not be able to forget, sir. Example,
Right.
the Biotecnika cloud, and and other important Biotecnika
Concept cloud.
concept notes. Okay, the differentiators, the uniqueness.
Right.
Okay, all this will leave an, it is not an imprint. It will emboss. Okay, it will emboss
Right.
concepts. It will emboss concepts, and very importantly, sir, in most of our regular classes, we are not able to focus on these particular concepts. I'm sorry, this
Right.
is the drawback of the system. Okay, neither the teacher nor the student, it is a drawback of a system, because the curriculum is so fully loaded that we are not able to
Correct.
innovate in a classroom. Now,
Curriculum keeps
Biotecnika,
you busy, but it doesn't give you the value which you
very
require.
true, sir, very true, very true. And
Right.
many times we are in a race of scoring marks. Okay, and trust me, sir, me being a first rank holder throughout my career, until now nobody has seen my marks, sir. Nobody
Of
would
course.
have seen my marks card. Nobody would have seen my gold medals, etc., etc. Whoever they offered me, okay, they saw one important thing: whether I'm able to reproduce certain things at a right time. Okay, and
Correct.
that makes a huge difference. That makes a huge
And
difference, and
that's what
and
is RAID
and
all about.
that is what RAID is all about, sir. And hence we give a lot of emphasis, especially for our CSIR, because when I qualified my ICMR and all KSET examinations and other things, recalling that point of time, you need to understand the question, and also you need to recall, and then you need to have a logical effort of
Correct.
understanding the answers and the question. And in this component, it becomes very, very important that we come up with these kind of rate technologies, wherein understanding and creating, you are empowered in your bench when you're actually writing your answer script, sir. This is what I just want to tell you.
Wonderful.
It is
Wonderful
just it
explanation.
is just
Thank
you
you
are
so much.
empowering people. You are just empowering
Right.
people, and I request everybody, to all my
Thank you.
subscribers, to take full advantage of this, sir. Full advantage of
Yes.
this. Shekhar, sir, thank
Thank
you
you.
very
Thank
much
you
for
so much,
giving this
sir.
opportunity, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, sir.
Thank you. Wonderful talk there, sir. And rightly you said you don't need to engrave, you need to emboss it permanently on your memory. And if that has to happen, this is the process which we have innovated, which is going to help you guys. Now, let us start by talking about the first component of RAID without wasting much time. The first component of RAID is obviously the human factor, which is an experienced teacher. Now, nowhere in the industry you will find, I can bet this, you will find more than this big fleet of teachers. They will have 2 or 3 or 4 teachers. But here at Biotecnika, there is a big fleet of more than 14 teachers. In fact, I could not fit in 2 teachers because there was no space. So you can see the biggest fleet of CSIR NET qualified, experienced holders, CSIR NET teachers with more than 150 years of combined experience. They are scientists, professors, ex ITC, and all these senior scientists and professors and all these extremely talented teachers are going to train, are already training our students. And that's what the first component of RAID, you can never replace it. It's always going to be our honorable teachers. Now, the second component of RAID is, of course, intelligently designed PowerPoints. So today we will pass on the controls to Tanushri ma'am. She will give you a demonstration of what exactly an intelligently designed PowerPoint is and how exactly she will deliver a tough topic in a simple way today. So over to you, Tanushri ma'am. Please go ahead. Please come on the screen and start with the second part. Hello ma'am. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, sir. I'm good. Thank you
So
for inviting me over here.
yes, ma'am. So please start with the RAID second component, which is intelligently designed PowerPoints.
So, very good evening, everybody. Please confirm if the screen is visible to you all. And am I loud and clear? Can you all please confirm in the chat? Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for confirming. So, welcome to the demo session. And today in this demo session, I'll be talking about probability, the topic from Unit 8, subunit Mendelian principle. So unit 8 is all about inheritance biology, and I have selected a topic probability from the subunit of unit 8, that is Mendelian principles. I'm sure while going through the previous year question papers, you all must have come across such type of questions, right? And I'm sure majority of you don't even try to solve this question because you feel that these type of questions are very difficult to attempt. You like, especially if a question is based on which requires any calculation, the very first thing that comes to your mind is I cannot do it. because majority of the students, they are really scared of, especially biology students, they are not comfortable in doing the mathematical calculations. But believe me, if you know the concept well and you know the strategy of solving question, you can easily attempt such questions and score well in the exam. So as mentioned by Shekhar sir, we use rate technology, and we use this technology so that we can make you understand the concept well and even help you learn faster. So using this technique, let's understand this topic, probability, in detail now. So the very first thing that you all need to know is the answer of these questions. So as we are talking about probability, so you need to know what is probability. Why do we need probability rules in genetics? Which probability rule is applied when? And how we can solve probability based questions. So let's know the answer of these questions. Let's first know about what probability is all about. So probability is the ratio of number of times a particular event is expected to occur to the number of trials during which event could have happened. Let's understand it with the help of an example. Let's say you have a coin. Now you know the coin have two faces, head and tail. So if you flip a coin, you know it will land either showing the head face or it will land either showing the tail face. But if I specifically ask you, what is the probability of getting head when you flip a coin once? So here the favorable event we are looking for is head, and the total outcomes are two, that is head and tail. So the probability of getting head will be 1 by 2. Similarly, probability of getting the tail is also 1 by 2. So that means the probability is where you are looking for favorable case divided by the total number of outcomes. Now, why do we need probability in genetics? So always remember, probabilities and the law of chances are involved in transmission of genes. Like for example, I'm sure you all have studied about the Mendelian principles in Mendel's dihybrid cross. The phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. This is what we expect, but this is not always the case. Genetics, we have a lot of exceptions. Maybe because of environmental factors, maybe because of gene interactions. Sometimes we don't get this ratio. There's a deviation from this ratio, right? So this is where the probability plays a very important role if we want to study the probability, if we want to know the probability of particular event to occur. Now, there are different probability rules, product rule, sum rule, and one more is also their binomial theorem. But in this particular session, I'll be covering these two. So what is product rule and sum rule? Now, I came across a lot of students and they find really very difficult in understanding these two rules. They often get confused. So the best strategy of learning, like here at Biotecnika, the strategy that we follow is that when you compare, you learn better. Okay, so very first thing is you have to understand. Understand, and in order to learn faster, you can compare. So let's compare product and sum rule. Product rule, first you need to know it is also known as multiplication rule, and rule. Sum rule is also known as addition rule, either or rule. Now, what is product rule? What is sum rule? Product rule states that the probability of two independent events, remember this keyword, independent events occurring simultaneously is product of each of their individual probabilities. However, sum rule states that probability of occurrence of any of several mutual exclusive events, remember this keyword, is the sum of probability of the individual events. Now, what is the meaning of independent events? What is the meaning of mutual exclusive events? So let's understand it with the help of an example. Let's relate it with your day-to-day life. I'm sure you all must have played Ludo, right? There is a dice in a Ludo, right? So if I ask you, what is the probability of getting number 4 on two sequential rolls? So let's say you roll a dice. Now you know there are 6 faces on dice, right? So each face is having a number. So number 1, so when you roll a dice, it can either land showing the number 1 or number 2, number 3, 4, 5 or 6. So particularly I'm asking that what is the probability of getting a number 4 on two sequential rolls? So obviously there are 6 outcomes. But what favorable case we are looking for? We are looking for number 4. So the probability of obtaining a 4 is 1 by 6. Now, when you roll the dice again, what is the probability of getting number 4 again? It will again be 1 by 6, right? Because these are two independent events. Like when you play Ludo, I'm sure it happens, right? You get number 1. But when you roll the dice again you can get number 1 or number 6 like that, right? So if we are getting number 4 on when we roll the dice once, it doesn't mean that on rolling it again we cannot get number 4, right? So because these are independent events, according to this probability rule, the probability of getting a 4 on 2 sequential roll is product of the two independent events. So this is the reason here we have multiplied 1 by 6 into 1 by 6 and we have got 1 by 36. However, the addition rule or the sum rule is used in case of mutually exclusive event. So here, to understand the mutual exclusive event, let's consider another example that when you roll a dice, what is the probability of getting 3 or 4? So here I've given you a condition or condition, right? You all know sum rule. Just now I told you sum rule is also known as either or rule. So 3 or 4. So obviously when you're rolling a dice, the dice cannot show altogether number 3 also and number 4 also. This will never happen, right? It will either show number 3 or either number 4. So what is the probability of getting 3 or 4? It will be sum of these two events because these are mutually exclusive events. You cannot get all the two numbers, both the two numbers altogether. So here we use sum rule where we have added 1 by 6 probability of getting number 3 and 1 by 6 that is probability of getting number 4. We have added them, we'll get, and when you solve, we will get 1 by 3. So always remember the keyword here is independent. Like when will you use product rule? Wherever the independent event is given. And when will you use sum rule? Whenever there is a mutual exclusive event. So now it's time for the concept check. So here I'm giving you a genetics question. So let's see. Let's now try to apply this concept that we have studied in solving this question. So the question is a heterozygous pea plant is tall with yellow seed. So this is a heterozygous plant and it is allowed to self-fertilize, right? Now, what is the probability that an offspring will be either tall with yellow seed, tall with green seed, or dwarf with yellow seed? So what is, I told you, remember the keyword, right? So either or condition is given. That means which rule we are going to use here? Can you please quickly tell me in the chat box? Which rule? Product rule or sum rule? It's a mutually exclusive event, either or condition. So yes, sum rule will be there, right? So remember, like even it is quite obvious, right? When these two plants are crossed and you get an offspring, the offspring cannot show all these phenotypes altogether. It cannot be tall with yellow also and tall with green also, dwarf with yellow also. It is not possible. It will show only one phenotypic trait, right? So it can either be tall with yellow or tall with green or dwarf with yellow. Moving on to another question. So another question is a cross has been made between two plants of genotype. So the genotype of two plants is given. What is the probability that the offspring will be of genotype? And they have given you the genotype. So when you see the genotype, so here there are four gene pairs A, B, C, and D. And for every gene pair, we have a dominant allele represented with uppercase letter and recessive allele with the lowercase letter. Now, we very well know that genes assort independently. So getting the homozygous condition for A allele, B allele, C allele, or D allele, these are all independent traits, right? These are all independent events. So this is the reason, because this question is based on the individual probability or independent event, we will be using here product rule. Now, another question is, like, now we know, the very first thing is now we know which rule we have to apply. But the question is how to solve for probability. So here in Biotecnika, we specifically, even tell you some tricks and strategies for solving the question as well. So here, the strategy that you will be using to solve this question is that you will be considering four different gene pairs as individual events. So as mentioned in the question, this is the genotype of the parents, right? And this is the probability of the genotype we are looking for in the offspring. So the hint I gave you is that you have to consider four gene pairs as an individual event, right? So that means for A gene pair, if I solve for A gene pair, both the parents are heterozygous. For B gene pair, one is homozygous recessive, another parent is heterozygous. So let's write it down separately. Okay. Then for C gene pair, again both the parents are heterozygous. And for D gene pair, one parent is heterozygous, another is homozygous recessive. So I have written them separately. Now, what you have to do is, if you see these crosses, this is like a monohybrid cross, right? So what you have to simply do is determine the genotype in the offspring. So for that, I will write down the Punnett, I will draw a Punnett square. So gametes of the parent I'm writing on one side, right? So you know that both the parents are heterozygous. So the gametes form will be with the dominant allele and with the recessive allele. So each of the parent will form these gametes, right? So on writing the combination, what is the probability of getting homozygous recessive A? Because this is the event we are looking for. Probability of this genotype we are looking for. So it is 1 by 4. Total outcomes 4. What is the probability of getting homozygous recessive condition? For A gene, it is 1 by 4. Then if you solve for B, so this parent will form only one type of gamete, that is with the recessive allele. And another parent being heterozygous, it will form the gamete one with dominant allele, another with recessive. Now here, in the offspring, either the progeny will be like in the offspring, either we can get heterozygous condition or homozygous recessive. So probability of getting homozygous recessive is 50%, right? Half. Then if you see C gene pair, it is similar to A. So quickly you can write down the combination. It is similar to A. So that means, so write down the gametes, and you know it will be like either homozygous dominant condition, heterozygous condition in the progeny, or homozygous recessive. Now, what is the probability of the genotype we are looking for? Homozygous recessive. So it will again be 1 by 4. And for D, it is similar to B gene pair, right? So here again, if I draw the Punnett square, so writing the gamete combination formed by this parent, so gametes will be with the recessive allele, and this parent, so one gamete with the dominant allele, another with the recessive allele, right? So again here, if you see the genotypes that we can get in the offspring, so the probability of getting homozygous recessive condition for D gene pair is 1 by 2. And as these all 4 are independent events, we will use the product rule here. And when you multiply, when you solve for it, you get the probability that is 1 by 64. Easy, right? So it all comes with practice. And here at Biotecnika, we emphasize not only make you understand the concepts well by using the RAID technology, helps you learn helps you to make the concept learn faster, but also we tell you the tricks and the strategies for solving the questions so that you can score well in the exam. So this is all from my end. Thank you, everybody. And over to you, sir, now.
So now, students, as you can see, component number 2, when you combine with a powerful teacher, intelligently designed PowerPoint comes to life. But is it enough? The answer is no. You understood, you can apply the concept now, but 3 months later, you'll start forgetting it. When the real exam will happen, those 3 hours, that stressful hours, you'll start forgetting it. And that is why we emphasize a lot on memory, your memory. Your mind should be able to recall it. We taught it, it's our duty done. No, our job is to make sure that you are able to recall during the exams. And that is where our other components will play an important picture. Now, let me show component number 3. You will be blown away. You are going to be floored with the next component, which is animations. I'm going to show 1 or 2 animations if time permits. Let me show you a demo. Watch out the animations which we have, and this is going to be implemented for all the students. Now we'll play one animation for all of you. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Every one of us is aware of the increasing risks of genetic disorders in today's world. Despite the regular advancement of medical science, we are still not able to tackle many of these. Let us understand the common approaches involved in getting an answer to genetic issues. This whole study begins with genomics. Genomics is the branch of biology which involves identification of an organism's genes, understanding how genes work, and diversifying ways to manipulate the genetic process for various purposes, including treating illness. Some of the products that it has yielded include pharmacogenomics and personalized medicine, new alternative for disease cure, pills plus food or soap or cosmetics, more effective vaccines, monoclonal vaccines, GMOs and gene therapy. Out of these, gene therapy seems to be most promising in terms of its possible applications, as well as the variety of techniques which have been developed to get the desired gene delivery. Gene therapy is an experimental technique that uses the genes to treat or prevent a disease. Researchers are testing several approaches to gene therapy, including replacing a mutated gene that causes disease with a healthy copy of the gene, inactivating or knocking out a mutated gene that is functioning improperly, introducing a new gene into the body to help fight a disease. Broadly categorizing, there are two types of gene therapies: germline therapy and somatic gene therapy. In germline gene therapy, GGT, the germ cells, the sperm or egg cells, are modified by the introduction of functional genes into their genomes. Modifying a germ cell causes all the organism's cells to contain the modified gene, and thus the change is therefore heritable and passed on to later generations. Somatic cell gene therapy involves the transfer of a gene to a diseased somatic cell, either within the body, in vivo, or outside the body, ex vivo, with the help of a viral or a non-viral gene therapy vector. Ex vivo is any procedure accomplished outside. The cells are taken from a particular part of the body and are modified outside using viruses or vectors, and the corrected version is transplanted back into the patient. In vivo, the opposite of ex vivo. Here the cells are treated inside the patient's body for the patients who are weak. The corrected copy of the gene is transferred into the body of the patient. Germline gene therapy has ethical issues when it comes to human applications. However, somatic gene therapy has gained rapid popularity in the last few decades. Germline gene therapy gives hope for the betterment of future generations, but somatic gene therapy helps you survive better. Gene therapy not only gives a chance of a normal life to the baby born with genetic diseases, but it can also have applications with regard to drought tolerance, pest resistance, increased productivity, biofertilizer production, improved milk composition, better fruit quality and quantity, better shelf life, probiotics, etc. This makes it equally useful to the ecologists and the common farmer.
By Biotecnika team, you must have seen it already in your portal. Now, let me play another animation for you, which will again blow your mind away. So you learned probability, you learned gene therapy. Now let's learn another technology in this RAID class. Let's move on. Now, all of these are unrelated, but they're going to blow your mind.
It is a non-invasive imaging technique used by the physicians to diagnose and analyze critical malformations of organs, soft tissues, bone, and virtually all other internal body structures. The image can be generated on a computer screen using a powerful magnetic field and radio waves. The images so generated are then examined by the physicians to evaluate various body parts, including organs of chest, abdomen, and pelvis, such as heart, lungs, liver, etc. Unlike conventional imaging techniques such as X-ray, CT, or CAT scanning and ultrasound, MRI does not involve harmful radiation. The functioning of an MRI machine is based on the principle of NMR. During MRI scanning, patients are placed in an MRI unit containing wire coils capable of sending and receiving radio waves. Radio waves are directed at protons in the area of the body under study, in the presence of a strong magnetic field. When exposed to a magnetic field, these protons change their rotation or axis, producing signals that are detected by the coils. A computer then compiles these images into a three-dimensional representation of the body, which can subsequently be studied from many different angles on a computer monitor. Tissues that contain a lot of hydrogen, such as fat, produce a bright image, while those that contain little or no hydrogen, such as bone, appear dark. Since protons are most abundant in water molecules, MRI is especially suitable in the detection of disorders that increase fluid in the diseased areas of the body, such as tumors, infection, and inflammation. Example, an image of a normal, healthy organ will be less bright as compared to an organ which contains more of fluid. MRI is widely used in the diagnosis of number 1, tumors and other abnormalities in the organs of the chest, abdomen, or pelvis. Number 2, functional and anatomical abnormalities of the heart, aorta, coronary arteries, and blood vessels. Number 3, congenital arterial and venous vascular anomalies. Benefits of MRI. Number 1, non-invasive imaging technique. Number 2, does not involve exposure to radiation. Number 3, MRI of the soft body tissue such as the heart, liver, etc. has a higher sensitivity. Number 4, characterize focal lesions. Number 5, less likely to produce an allergic reaction. Number 6, enables the detection of abnormalities that might be obscured by bone with other imaging techniques. Functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI. This form of MRI is one of the most advanced forms of neuroimaging. This involves the measurement of hemodynamic response related to neural activity in the brain and the spinal cord. With an increase in neural activity, the rate of oxygen consumption by the neurons increases and thus the cerebral blood flow (CBF) also increases. Blood oxygen level dependent fMRI is the most commonly used type of fMRI for identification of areas of the brain that are active at any given time. Deoxyhemoglobin is more magnetic or paramagnetic than oxyhemoglobin, which is diamagnetic. Accordingly, more functional areas of the brain will give a brighter signal compared to the less functional, which consume less oxygen from oxyhemoglobin.
All right, so there you have it. Animations play a very important part of biology because you cannot see it from naked eye. You can visualize through animations. You can remember it better. You can recall it faster. And that was component number 3 of rate. We're running out of time, so we have to cover a lot of ground. So let's move on quickly to the next part, which is component number 4. And now, in the next few minutes from now, I will bring in Tithi Saha ma'am. She will be talking about concept notes. She will be demonstrating it for you. So you can see not just teaching, not just animation, there are several components of RAID. Later on, after this, ma'am will also showcase concept table, which is comparison-based learning. And then she will also talk about component 6, which is mind map library. So over to you, Tithi ma'am, quickly, if you can come in and show our students how exactly all these 3 components come together and help students. Over to you, ma'am. Yeah.
Good
Can you please
evening,
share your
sir.
screen? Good evening, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining.
Giving me this opportunity. I'm just sharing my screen.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello to all the subscribers. I'm sure you are enjoying the things that sir is telling you about this completely new technology of RAID 2.0. Okay, so I'm here to introduce you with some important components that we include in our class. Okay, so when you enroll with Biotecnika, you are not only getting a coaching for 6 months, which will prepare you for the competitive exam, be it CSIR NET or be it GATE, but along with that, we provide you with all the possible tools that will help you empower more. Okay, so one important thing here is the concept notes. Now, everywhere you must have faced it or you must have heard it that your professors will always tell you or always encourage you to make notes, whether it is running note that you are making in the class or it is a note that you are making later. Now, what is the benefit of doing it? So first of all, when you are making a running note in the class, you are actively involved in the class, so you are not definitely not sleepy, right? And also when you see the topic later, those running notes help you revise the thing, because that is where you have written all the important things. Now, not only in the class, you can also do the note making, and it is advised for anybody to do this note making, because when you are studying from a standard book, there will be a lot of information given to you. Okay, but all those informations, yes, they are important, but are they important for this point of time that you need the information for example, for the exam? No, not all informations are important, okay, but some are very important. So you cannot skip on those informations that are important, and definitely you cannot waste time in studying something that is not so important for the exam. So that is where this note making help, where you pick out the important things, you summarize it in your own words and you write it down, right? And then you help, or you use this notes for the active revision later. Well, I understand it takes time, and not only me or everybody in Biotecnika, we understand that it takes time. Okay, so how can we make our students' life better? And with that, we came with this concept of concept notes, where our experienced Biotecnika experts have designed these notes. Okay, so we have taken information from all standard books only. Okay, then we have added images, we have made it extremely colorful, and we have made it attractive. Okay, it is not as boring as the study material. Yes, Biotecnika, with Biotecnika you get the study material, but I completely agree with you that that is boring. This one, in that case, is not at all boring. It is a complete colored copy, and you can see we have tried to incorporate as much as images as possible, because that is how our brain remembers things better. So cell, inside the cell there's nucleus, then we have chromosome. Chromosome is made up of DNA. In the part of the DNA is a gene. Okay, so basically one single DNA. So in this entire image only, it is getting completely clear to you that one single DNA molecule can have multiple genes present on it. Gene can have alternate forms, which we call as allele. Okay, so all these very basic concepts are completely clear in this set of few diagrams only. And also, see here, suppose we are talking about very basic problem, okay, a genetic problem. See, if the father is blue-eyed and the mother is brown-eyed, what is the probability, or what kind of progeny will they produce? What will be the eye color of their children? Okay, so in that we can do it very easily with the Punnett square, and I completely agree. I know that many of you can do it very easily, but what do you think? The person who is studying it for the first time, will it not be good to associate those letters with actually the phenotype, what we have used as the eye color here? So without even writing the genotype here, you can see the eye color and immediately you know, right? And that will help you recall and remember. Let me give you one more example that I have taken from our concept notes from unit 1, very basic structure of an atom. So as you can see here, we have used this Cornell method, and then we have written down the components here, and the detail about that component is on the other half. Now, this method also helps you in remembering and for recalling, where you can just cover this portion. Okay, you can cover this portion up and you can just try to remember things. So atom, what is it composed of? Proton, neutron, electrons. Okay, what are electrons? What are protons? What is the structure of an atom? So everything you see, you get it here on a single page. And as I was telling you that it is completely colored, we have specially designed it in a handwritten format that gives you the feel that it is handwritten, keeps you interested. And also we have used different colors to highlight the important points. Okay, now one more feature that you see of the notes here is that we have given space to write your own note. Yes, I understand, we here at Biotecnika completely understand that our listeners, our subscribers are very active. They have their own thought process. They are not just blind followers. Okay, they are going to have their own thought process, and because of that we have given space in each single page to make your own notes. So So from here also, whatever is not necessary or something extra if you want to add, there is space for you to add it here. Okay. And also one more problem that we faced, or you must have also faced when you are reading from a standard book, is that many places there will be abbreviations written, right? For example, here, when we are talking about the mass of electron, proton, neutron, we have written AMU. Now, what is AMU? Yes, the standard books have the dictionary or the glossary for the entire abbreviation, but that you have to scroll back to the end of the book and then you have to look at it. But here we have added the abbreviations right there. Okay, so that you don't waste your time to frisking the page, and right there in the same page only you get the abbreviations. Okay, so you do not waste your time and you keep on studying better and faster. Okay, isn't it amazing, guys? So if you are not able to see the pages here completely clearly, I agree. So in that case, don't worry. As Shekhar sir has already promised, stay till the end of the webinar, fill our feedback form, and you will get the entire PDF of all the sample tools that we are showing here. Okay, the sample tools will be provided to you completely free. Only you have to stay till the end of the webinar and fill up our feedback form. The next component that I'm going to show you is mind map library. Now, this mind map libraries are also something that has been designed by all the Biotecnika experts, and you get it completely free with the enrollment with Biotecnika. So what are these mind maps? Okay, so mind maps, if you see, so it is something like this, where the central topic is here, then the subtopics we write, then things under subtopic we write. Okay, so it will be like a ray diagram, but that kind. So what is the function of the mind map? So it gives you a complete picture. Okay, it gives you summarize the thing, and also it gives you see it the picture in totality. Okay, so suppose I'm talking about a pathway. Okay, now pathway will have, so if I'm talking about a pathway, so that will have a location in the body where that pathway is happening. Okay, or in the cell. It will have a time when it is happening. It will have a function of why is it happening. Okay, and also it will have a regulation so that the pathway is controlled in a proper way. Okay, so in mind map, when I'm talking about this particular pathway, so in the single page itself, we will create this different rays. Okay, so everything about the pathway in a most simplified and most summarized way, you will get it on the single page. Okay, that is what is mind map, and this is a sample of the mind map that our Biotecnika experts have created. See here. So the same thing that I was telling you, that this is the abscisic acid, right? So abscisic acid, so there's a little bit introduction about it, then how it was discovered, then what is the biosynthesis process. Okay, so if I just zoom it here, you will see. Okay, so the entire process of how biosynthesis of abscisic acid is done is mentioned. Okay, so on a single page in a most simplified manner. Okay, then you have regulation also, we have signaling of it, transport and function. So everything about abscisic acid is compiled here in a single page in most interesting way. And again, we have used colors to highlight the important words so that it helps our students to remember them better. One more example here is from host parasite interaction. So everything about it, host, what are parasites, what are type of parasites, what are type of interactions, and along with the examples here also you see. So everything about host parasite interaction, everything important that you have to remember is compiled here in a single page. So guys, don't you think it is excellent when you are learning something, and also it is excellent when you are revising something? Let's move on, and I introduce you with another new revision tool designed completely by Biotecnika, is a concept table. Okay. Now this concept table is a comparison table. And this comparison table, it helps us compare the things. And when you compare, so, and this comparison table we have created for related topics, okay, so that if you have any confusion, okay, for example, let me show you some example: glycogenesis and glyconeogenesis. Okay, so one process is for making glycogen, one process is for breaking down glycogen. But because the terms are so similar, we often get confused. Okay, that's why this comparison table, by the concept table, will help you, where we have compared the things together. So at the same time, you are learning two topics and important things and learning their differences. Okay, right? So like this, we have here for cybergreen and TACMAN. They are two different methods of quantitative PCR, but they are two different methods with different principles involved. Okay, and also as you see here, that I have taken the entire page's screenshot so that I can include it. See here, notes. Here also you will find this feature of notes, where you can have your own input written right below the same page, where you don't have to frisk to any other notebook or any other paper, set of paper, right? So this is the three components that I wanted to show you, and I'm very sure you liked it. And definitely, if you stay till the end, you will get the complete PDF of the presentation sent to you completely free. So stay here, guys, and our other faculty will introduce you to more components that you will get completely free with our read technique. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tithi ma'am. It was really insightful. And I must tell you, you are an amazing teacher, and the way you explained concept notes and concept table, it was really insightful. I'm sure our audience loved it. But we are running out of time, so we'll quickly jump on to the next components. Next three components will be presented by our very own Nidhi ma'am. And the next component of RAID is component number 7, which is concept cloud. After that, ma'am will also showcase Conceptica flowchart book. I'm sure you have seen it. And then she will also showcase concept wheel. Further to that, concept number 10, she will also showcase the test series which we have and all the details of that also. So over to you, Nidhi ma'am. Can you please come up on the screen? Hello, ma'am. Good evening. Can you hear me? I guess, yeah. Your audio is not coming, ma'am. Can you hear me? Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is clear.
Yes, yes, ma'am. It's clear.
It's clear. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the confirmation. I hope the PPT is visible too. Yes. Can you all please confirm in the chat? Yes. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay.
all good. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right. Good evening, everyone. Once again, as part of Biotechnika's team, I would like to welcome and greet you to this session, to this exciting session, RAID 2.0. So you have already looked at the inputs given by Shekhar sir, Farhan sir, Tanushri ma'am, and Tithi ma'am, and I'm sure you found them useful. Now I'm going to make some more additions in the way that I'm going to describe some more elements of RAID technology which are adopted by us at Biotecnika. So let's get started. As we know, if we talk about the syllabus, right, if we talk about the syllabus of CSIR or GATE or even BT, the syllabus is huge, right? It touches almost all domains of biology, and hence aspirants need to build an effective strategy so that they can transform their efforts into the fruits of success. So if we talk about the flow in which this strategy should work, of course it will start with the right kind of mindset development. So you should have that mindset development before you start with your preparation. Okay, and then efficient and concise learning. Now why I have written this word concise here, right? So concise means you should know that what all topics you should be emphasizing on, and then what all things are there which you can skip. right? So there you can take help from the experts, of course. Now while you will be following this strategy, then we come to easy remembrance, right? You have to find out the way so that you can make your remembrance process easy. So again, here you can take help from the experts, right? Assistance from experts will always be useful. Apart from that, you can take help from the smart learning tools. Now once you are done with your topic, right, now what next? Right, of course, this is long term retention, means you need to retain what you have learned in the earlier stages of the learning process, right? Now to retain anything longer, right, what we can do, can you guess what we should be doing here? So here comes the importance of practice, right? So you have to practice whatever information you have gained in the earlier stages. You have to put it into practice, right? Because the practice will help you to have a quick recall during your exam. Because students, remember that even, if we talk about any exam, to get success, we have 3 P's there, right? And what are those 3 P's? Starting with the planning, right? So plan, prepare, and perform. So if you have planned well, right, and if you have done the honest preparation, but then you need to perform best during the exam, that is also important. And memory that fades, right? It fades away over the time, and that is natural. That happens with all of us. Okay, so we need to flatten that, downside, uh, memory curve, right? We need to flatten it. And how we can do that, right? By practicing and doing repeated revisions. So there comes the importance of practice. Now if I ask you that how we can incorporate this concept of practice in our context, yeah, yes, can you guess how we can apply this concept of practice? Of course, you will say by doing questions, right? So, yes, we should practice on more and more questions related to the topics or the concepts which we learn as part of our learning process. Okay, we'll discuss more on that. But before that, I would like to share these beautiful words by this lady, Joe Bradford. Okay, so she believes that practice makes perfect, and you will learn and find solution in ways you never imagined possible, right? She believes that, repetition is the mother of skills. So to master over any skill, you need to repeatedly do that thing, right? So therein you have to learn the importance of acting, then developing the right habits, and then doing that thing again and again, so that you can, do it in a correct manner. So you have to repeat it unless you get it in the correct manner. And don't worry if you are not able to do it yet, so with enough practice surely you'll be able to do it in the future. Now, we were discussing about practicing questions. There comes another hurdle, and that hurdle is procrastination. You know, again, that is something which is universal attribute of human nature. We procrastinate the things, right? We do very often that we'll do it we'll do it tomorrow, or we'll do it later. So therein we procrastinate the things. So, how to deal with that? Yes, so here, and generally we procrastinate the things when we find them unpleasant or boring or difficult. So, here we can make the things interesting for us. How you can do that? By putting yourself under the scrutiny of test. Yes, so here you have to put yourself to the multiple self assessment evaluation, that whether whatever you are learning you are actually able to grasp that concept, right? Whether you are able to retain it for long, and whether you are able to recall it, means you have to check over velocity of recall. Now here at Biotecnika, this component of RAID will help you, wherein we put you under evaluation process by providing you links for the weekly and monthly test. Okay, so in this manner you will be able to receive your link, and this link will be updated for you every week, right? And this is of course a test link, and this test will include the questions from all the topics which you have covered during that week, right? So there will remain 40 questions for weekly test I'm talking about right now. And in this way, in the title you will be able to see that which of this test is for which batch and what are the units, right, which have been covered during that week. Okay, then like this you will be supposed to add your name, right, the first name and then the last name, and then you have to enter your email id, registered email id. Then you can start with the test. Now this test will have questions from part A, part B and part C, means it will be following the CSIR scheme. Now, once you will start it, so in this manner, you will be able to find your questions one by one. So you can drop your responses here. Okay, whatever choice, whatever option you feel is right. Okay, you can just drop your response, and in this way, you will be able to proceed ahead. Once you are done with all the questions in this manner, you will be able to get your scorecard, right? So on the scorecard, as you could see that you will get all the details, like how did you perform. So here the number of correct answers, like you can see, this is the number is given, or the incorrect answers, or the answers, the questions which have remained unattempted. Not only that, you can see that time taken, that is also there. Of course, this is for demo purpose. So actual time taken will depend upon that what is the depth, right, in which you have been able to understand the concept. Now, another thing I would like to add here, of course, this is about self evaluation, right? So looking at your score and comparing it with what is required as the passing score, you will be able to self evaluate your preparation. However, let me tell you that we can also have an eye on your performance. Yes. So we can look at the report of all the students who have taken up the test like this. Can you see that? Yes. So we can check whether you are taking your test or quest regularly, because just the way you have looked that this was about weekly test, but you will be able to, you'll be actually provided with the monthly quest links as well. There, the number of questions that will remain more. Okay. But of course, there will be part A, part B, and part C questions. And remember, negative marking will also be there. Okay, so in this manner, we'll be checking on your performance. So we are not leaving you alone, even here and in this exercise of self evaluation. So, gradually what would happen? Your confidence will boost up, and that is very much required, right? Because your success that will be determined by your confidence and fortitude. Okay, right? So this confidence, of course, you will learn question solving skills, you will learn time management skills, right? And remember that a little bit of progress every day that brings big results later, right? So in this way, this element, this component of rate is going to help you during your journey of CSIR preparation. Okay, now while taking test, somewhere if you found that I'm not getting good scores, what next? Right. So don't be disappointed. Prepare. You can prepare again, and you can retake the test. So we are not going to judge you on the basis of your performance in the test. Okay, so we are not going to add some tags like toppers or most intelligent or less intelligence or weak students. No, we are not going to do that. You can always prepare again. And now since you are already having this idea that how or what type of questions they are being asked from a particular topic. Okay, so of course this time you will be able to improve your score in the test, and that is how that confidence will come, right? So in this way you will be a winner in the sense that you are getting the confidence. Okay. Yes, so that is important. So in this manner, this component, this element, I'm sure you are finding this component, helpful. And not only these weekly test and the monthly quest are there, but beside that, animatica, sorry, the other question series, they are also available, right, in the portal. And once you will enroll for it, so you will be authorized to go through those test series, to take those test series as well. Now, yes, here I would like to mention that always remember that you cannot undo the moves, but you can always make the next step better. Okay, so what has already been gone, so just don't worry about that. Okay, like I said, that little bit of progress every day is going to bring big results at the end, right? So gradually your performance, that is going to be improved, and that what do we want, right? Okay, so now let's move to our next slide. And here I'm going to talk about the revision tools. Yes, so like I had mentioned, that we are going to incorporate this application of practice, that is self evaluation. And once, like, we have taken the test, but we found that we are not performing good, so that means, or you are not able to retain the concept or recall them. Okay, so that means you are lacking somewhere, right? So there you need smart learning and revision tools. So you have already seen that some revision tools which are which are provided to you here at Biotecnika, right? Tithi ma'am has already showcased those, some of those tools. Now I'm going to show you some more, right? But before I move ahead, I would like to ask one question. How many of you have tried to look at some hidden shapes or images in the clouds in your childhood? Yes? Can you tell me? I'm sure most of you might have done that. Okay, so can we use that experience in making our revision process interesting? Yes. So here you can see that thing has been used by Biotecnika to create this very interesting learning and revision tool, and that is Concept Cloud. Okay, so Concept Cloud is an instant, super fast revision tool for CSIR NET exam, and of course, it will help you in the preparation for other exams as well, because we know that there are things which are like common between syllabi of CSIR, DBT, GATE, or even other entrance exams, right? Okay, I could see that Kumar, Manisha, Tanya Gupta, Devi Priya. So most of you have answered yes. You have pulled in yes for my question. Yes, that's what I was saying, right? So why can't we use those experiences to make our learning easy and convenient, right? So I'm going to show you this example. So this is the concept cloud, right? Which is of course from Unit 3 from CSIR syllabus. And as you could see here, we have the important terms, right? Terms or words which have been gathered, right, based on our experiences. Of course, you can do it at your level as well. You can prepare something like this at your level. But remember that these concept clouds are coming with more than 16 years of experience from Biotecnika faculties, right? So, you can see the terms, right? Like DNA polymerases types, or AIMS test is there, or tmRNA. So, if you just look at this word, this is going to hit your brain as a flash of light reaches us from the space, right? And that is going to initiate that recall process. Okay, so the information which is stored there in your mind, remember, when we learn anything, it enters into the short term memory. And if you will not retrieve it very often, so it will get dumped. So you have to retrieve it very often. That means you have to practice, and you have to do repeated revisions, right? So tmRNA, like I was talking about this term. So tmRNA, what is this? Yes, this is an RNA, right, which have characteristic of both tRNA and mRNA. So I'm just giving you an example. Okay, telomere replication. right? Or elongation factors. We know that there are so many factors which are involved during translation process, during different stages. Okay, so this is how you can recall them. And if anywhere, if at any point you realize that I'm not able to recall, so what you will do? You'll go back, you will check with your study material, you will revise it, right? Not only that, during your exam time, okay, if you get any question based on that term, right, so that will quickly come into your mind. Okay, I had seen this word in the concept cloud and I had revised it, okay, because I wasn't able to recall it during my revision process. So this element works like this. Interesting, right? Tanya Gupta, you just stay till end. Okay, so the entire information that is going to be shared. Okay, so how you can get access to all these smart tools, right? All right. So these are a few more examples, right? So just the way I had shown you that example that was from unit 3, this is from unit 8. Okay. This is from genetics, right? We know that there are so many terms in genetics and sometimes we find them confusing. Like I said, that happens with all of us, right? So just looking at any of the terms which you can find here in this concept cloud, like I said, that is going to initiate your recall process. Okay, or that will make you to go back and revise it. Okay, so this is from unit 10. Remember all the terms, they are important, right? So like I have already mentioned that this is coming with experience. So we know which all terms are important. So we have to make our learning efficient and concise. That is also important. Okay. So like you can see the regular, clumped and random dispersion. So these are different types of population dispersion pattern or the survivorship curves, right? So three types of curves are there. Okay, this is just a term, but based on it, we have a complete concept. And that is important from exam point of view. Very important, in fact. Right? Similarly, age pyramids we have, okay, or differences between K strategist and R strategist, right? Life tables, population density, and what not. All the terms are important, right? So I hope you like this component of rate. Can I get some responses in the live chat? Okay, so we had just turned our that childhood experience in the shape of the smart learning and revision tool, right? Okay, thank you so much, Tanya, Aman, Manisha, for
Ma'am, I
dropping
would
your
like to add
insights.
one more point here. Very
Yeah, yeah,
important for
sure.
our students. If you
Yes, sir.
see, some words are bigger, some words are smaller. You know why? Because the bigger words, bigger the word, that more importance it has in your CSIR net. Smaller the word, it has lesser importance in your CSIR net. That's how we have
Exactly.
designed the cloud.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
over to you,
I was
ma'am.
looking for the responses to come and I was just about to mention that.
Okay.
But thank you
Yeah.
so much, sir, for getting it. Yes. Okay, so let's continue further. All right, now let's look at our next revision tool, and this is concept wheel. Yes, so get your concepts clear and firm with another component, another element uh, from based on the rate technology, and that is concept wheel, right? So drafted in the shape of beautiful colored wheels are the concepts. Once again, important concept from examination point of view. Okay, so if you just look at the spokes of the wheels, no, you will find the different stages of the process or different phases or the events in a pathway or the characteristics of phenomenon they have been mentioned. So again, it helps us to remember, to revise all these things related to any topic and to make that quick recall. Remember the last P, performance matters, right? Whatever you have learned, that's okay, right? Whatever you have revised, that is good, but you have to recall it during your exam, right? So here I'm going to share the PDF. Okay, please look at this PDF. That will give you a better idea, right, how these concepts will looks. Sir, can you please confirm whether this PDF is visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible. You can go ahead.
Okay, so just look at these beautiful concept wheels. You can see how colorful they are, right? The content is very much clear and concise. Okay, so all the steps they have been mentioned, right, in the sequence. This is about polyadenylation. If you have already learned this topic, okay, this is from post transcriptional processing, very important topic from exam point of view. All the factors, so usually we forget, right, about the name of the factors. So that is how these concept wheels, they will help you to have a long retention. Okay, so this is about connect between ATP and energy. Again, a confusing thing and a boring thing, in fact, to learn. And then we have Ramachandran plot, as you can see, right? Again, a very important topic. Okay, so we always expect questions to be asked based on Ramachandran plot. This is related to proto-oncogene, or if I just move ahead, so like there are many examples. All the units they have been covered. Remember, all the important topics have been covered. This is Kelvin cycle. So how many of you feel that this is like very boring to remember and to revise these cycles? But these concept we they are going to make the topics interesting for you, right? So this topic is, yeah, another topic you can see from unit 4, RASMAP kinase pathway, right? So I'm sure you got a gist of like how this revision tool could be an interesting addition to your strategy. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Akash. Okay, so I'm getting back to my PPT. All right, and here in uh, all the subscribers, all the viewers, I'm going to show you another component based on RAID technology, right? And this is Conceptica Light. So here I'll talk about colors, right? So colors, they always fascinate us. And this has been scientifically proven that colors, they accelerate the impulses. So if we will learn, right, if we learn anything, right, which has been shaped into something which is fascinating, where we have the right use of the colors and all, so we'll be able to retain it for long. Okay, so again we'll get an active and easy learning. So why not flowcharts, right? So flowcharts, they capture the process, the flow of the process in the right manner. And again, they help us with active and easy learning. So Biotecnika, it provides Conceptica, okay, where you'll be able to find the flowcharts covering all the important topics from all the units, right? Where you will see that there will be a flow chart and then there will be a brief description. But to make that Conceptica flowchart book affordable, a lighter version of it, Conceptica Lite, is also there. So this Conceptica Lite has 100 flowcharts from 100 important topics. Again, important from your exam point of view. Okay. So before I end with my presentation, again, I would like to show you some examples from Conceptica Lite. Okay, so I hope once again this
Yeah.
PDF is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible. Please
Oh,
go ahead.
thank you so much, sir, for the confirmation. All right, so as we can see here, this is how you will find all the information related to any topic at one place. Can you see this? Isn't it? It's amazing. This is about gene regulation, bacteriophage lambda. How tricky that topic is, right? Yes, just look at this sample. Okay. And if I show you another, this is from Unit 10, Ecology, right? So this is about all the theories, different models for ecological succession, right? And like this experiment, it's so very important, where you get to learn about the differences between fundamental niche, right? And the other terms which are related to niche, whether that's niche overlap, niche breadth, okay? Similarly, we have examples, we have samples from other units as well. Okay, so as you could see that they are covering all the important concepts, right? from a particular topic, and this is such a good thing, right? We'll be able to revise each and every fact, each and every point. Okay, let it be an equation, let it be a formula, it be a reaction, or it's a pathway, or different steps of a process, or the names of the factors or the enzymes, all at one place, right? Just look at this. This is from cellular signaling, unit 4, right? Another important unit from exam point of view. All right, here comes strip operon, gene regulation, operon system, another important topic, very important topic in fact. And yes, this is again difficult to be understood, right? Honestly, I teach this topic and I know students, they have so very confusions, right, about this topic operon, let it be trip operon or ara operon or lac operon. So I'm sure this element, this component is going to help you there, right? So yes, coming back to my PPT, now I am left with my last slide only. So I would like to thank you all for being part of this session. And remember, any exam, okay, any competition exam is about staying ahead of other competitors who are almost at the same level in terms of knowledge. So therein you have to accentuate on your qualities, right? You have to elevate them. You have to get them at the next level. So, by inculcating focus, of course, self discipline, time management, knowledge, and last but not the least, right assistance. Okay, the right type of revision or learning tools, you can definitely achieve more in less time. So, that will
Thank you.
be all from my side. Passing the
Thank you
controls
so
to
much.
Shekhar sir again. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was amazing the way you explained. I'm
Thank
myself
you, sir.
mesmerized and tears came in my eyes looking at all the amazing tools which was showcased by all of you. I must
No, sir,
tell
even
all.
and I would like to mention today I have a bad throat. Really, I was struggling somewhere to talk, but I hope I
Thank
have
you. Thank you so much.
delivered over
You
here.
did in complete justice with today's session. So,
Thank you so much.
audience, I'm sure you already have enjoyed all the components of RAID, but we are not done. Four more are left. I'll quickly finish it off. But here is something which I want to tell you. Today, experience the Mercedes, the BMW and Audi of CSIR NET preparation. Whatever you saw today, this is a result of all the research we have done in last 17 years. And now last four components quickly, guys, before we break for the session. Component number 11, as you can see, is WhatsApp support, right? WhatsApp support is something like you can directly get in touch with all the faculties of Biotecnika. We are in process of rolling it. We should be completely done by 1st of April. Now, what is going to happen in WhatsApp support? You will have a direct WhatsApp contact number of Nidhi ma'am, Tanushri ma'am, or Tithi ma'am, or Farhan Zamir sir, or my contact number. All the teachers of Biotecnika, 14 to 15 teachers of Biotecnika, you will have their contact numbers. You can directly ask questions in WhatsApp and get answers as and when required. So that's component number 11, which we are in process of rolling out for everybody. Already students have started enjoying chatting with me. They keep messaging me whole day and whole night. Now, the next component which we have for all of you is chat support. You can see again, our entire army of teachers will be right here inside the study portal, and you will be able to ask questions 24/7, and as and when they are available they will reply. So this is a 24/7 chat support with the faculty. Entire army of Biotecnika will be at your back to support you. This is component number 12. Now coming to component number 13 is again another very interesting thing, which is hard copy study material. So like ma'am said, we have all the revision tools, but apart from that, we also have these study materials which we give to our students. These study materials, now they were out of stock, so we had to really revise it, and now we are launching it today in this particular session. Again, once again, the newest version has come, and this NetJRF Learner hard copy is available for all of you to take up, and already it is being dispatched to all the students who had already ordered, and they've been waiting for the last 3 months for this. There's a good news for you. It is ready and we have started dispatching already. So this is component number 13. There's a set of 14 books. Let me just pull that out for you. You can see this. It's a set of 14 books for all of you. It's huge. It's so heavy that it really takes a lot of time to pack and dispatch. But yeah, we are in process of that. You will start getting, if you have already ordered, hard copy study materials. Now coming to the last and final part of your preparation is motivation. And that's your success coach, me. Whenever you prepare for CSIR NET, you have all the tools in this world, but if you just feel that you can't, then you can't, right? If you feel like quitting, then you will quit. If you stop trusting the process, you'll never be able to move forward. And that is why you have me. You'll have a direct contact, direct WhatsApp contact of me. And here, if you're an enrolled student of Biotecnika, you can directly talk to me, chat with me, you can email me anytime, and you will have continuous motivational support and success strategies, which I'll keep coming to you, keep implementing, and I'm your accountability partner. Throughout your studying process, you'll be able to send your notes to me. I will evaluate on a daily basis and give you feedback. So this is component number 14, which we've added. This brings to the complete RAID 2.0. In RAID 1.0, we had only 5 components. In RAID 2.0, you can see there are 14 components, and that is where it is so powerful, so strong, and so credible. Nobody ever can easily replicate it. It's so difficult to replicate. We have invested 17 years of hard work to do this, and now that we have it, let me announce to all of you, we are announcing a fresh batch, RAID 2.0 enabled batch. So all the batches from now on will be RAID 2.0 enabled. New batch from 31st March. So we are starting 2 batches. One batch is going to be long-term for December 2023, and one batch is going to be a chota mota small batch, revision batch. We are calling it as a fast track revision batch, where you get all the revision tools. It's a fatafat fast track revision batch. We're starting from 31st of March. The fees is going to be very low. Wait for the announcement whenever we do, and you can enroll here, and you will be able to enjoy all the RAID 2.0 techniques, technologies in the next 2 months. Now, all the students who have already enrolled, you're going to get all of this or a part of this, whatever is applicable. For example, if you have opted for a recorded course, you're not going to get the live component of RAID. If you have opted for, test series, you obviously will not get other things. But if you have opted for complete course, you're going to get all of this in our RAID 2.0. So with this, we come to an end, but please don't go away. Thank you so much for attending. And now is the time for feedback form. Please fill it out. Please mention your right phone number and email ID so that the PDFs can be sent. Half of the PDF I will send across through email. Half of the PDFs I will send across through WhatsApp. So please make sure that you are putting in the right email ID and phone numbers, okay? And I will email you a surprise gift in the next 48 hours. Okay. So apart from all the free samples which we have shown, you're going to get a PDF of that. But apart from that, I'm going to email you a surprise gift. Okay. So stay tuned for that as well. This is all about RAID 2.0. This is the launch event. Signing off, Shekhar Suman. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for witnessing the historic moment in the preparation of CSIR NET. We promise you success, and this is how we deliver. I'm sure whether you watch it live or recorded, you are already mesmerized by what we have done here. And my promise to you is we are going to come back stronger with RAID 3.0 next year in March. But for now, we sign off. Our research and development on education will continue. Biological sciences is our passion, and we are going to deliver stronger you in this world. We want to launch you as a stronger researcher, much more established researcher. This is just one icing on the cake. Thank you so much for watching this live stream, live launch event, and I wish you all the best of luck. And don't forget to fill the feedback form. I'll pin it in the comments section also. And see you in the next videos, next live stream. Till then, namaskar. And to all our experts and faculty members, thank you so much for all the support and staying till now. I'll see you soon in the next one. Till then, good night.